That's so cool. That is so cool. So, a little bit of an introduction for this next question. So, I'm sure you know by now, especially because you are a well seasoned veteran. Today, when it comes to AAA development is I know you've seen so many budgets when it comes to that. But now it seems that we've reached an inflection point where AAA development is very hard in terms of how much money it takes to build these games. And then, most importantly, there's the production cost and then there's the marketing cost. And what's going on right now is you're seeing a whole bunch of layoffs with these teams, and some of that is going to be due to how big the upfront cost is to make this game, and it's just really hard to pay back. So to break even, you have to sell maybe 5 million copies at least, which is a crap ton of copies to sell. And then there are even more games that are coming out. There's over 1,000 games that come out a day on Steam. So you're competing with all types of different markets, attention, which makes things a lot harder. Now, with this question, why should game development use in the AAA space consider using AI?
Well, okay. A, I love this question because even before AI became the most prominent buzzword in our industry, um, common sense AAA development, you know, in many instances, I'm not going to say sweepingly, but I'm saying in a lot of cases, the way um, publishers and large developers approach AAA development, um, it's just really upside down and backwards. Um, and this goes back even 10, 15 years. So it's not just an AI thing. Um, there's this thinking that, you pick a date, because you're trying to fill a revenue gap. And because of that, you got to get into production by this. It's like so I'm going to throw in my Amazonian roots. It's like they work backwards to a date and what has to happen, but without under the intent of why you work backwards. You work backwards because it's like, hey, what do I need to do to deliver the end result to the consumer? What is the thing? Um, so okay, I hate leaning on redemption, but I use RDR as an example because it's recognizable by so many. Um, so there's like numbers out there saying the game costs like $120 million to make, and I cannot and will not say what it costs,
Yeah.
but it was nowhere near that, nowhere near. Now, if you include marketing, sure, but from the studio that actually made it, along with support from other Rockstar studios, I can tell you that the first year plus of development, the team was never over 15 or 20 people. Maybe towards the end we
Oh.
got 30. And there's a reason for that. We were able to kind of, okay, so it wasn't AI, but procedurally, we would go throw out a gray box world with the press of a button. We used tools like Speed.3 that would just throw out a bunch of trees. So it looked like crap, okay? But it was a functional world to go into. And that's where we discovered, because we were trying to figure out what did we need to understand and know before we went in production. And we threw away the world at least 2, 3 times because it's too big. Being able to see forever and technologically go do that, not fun. There's some tech we were working on for GTA so that you could go in and open every door and go into every building and da 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 da. Some of that went into GTA 4. But the thinking was, well, redemption, because it's a smaller scale world, like Western towns are
Yeah.
smaller. Oh, we could do it. Well, guess what? We got the tech to work, but it is fundamentally not fun where you open up every dresser drawer, every
Did,
closet. And so we had to flip the script and get smart about how you use the technology that allows you to do it, but don't give people so much freedom that it becomes unfun. And traversing a massive world was not fun. And we flipped the script even on that, how we used to script the game. We made it so the world and interactivity came to you instead of you having to go to the one little spot and get it within enough pixels. The guy with the yellow, it's like that doesn't work in an open world.
Y-
And that's why we kept a very small team for a long time. We figured out a lot of that, and it just got better over time.
Wow. Wow. So I would say yes, they should be using
They
AAA.
should be using AI.
Okay.
So hey, we were using unautomated AI of a sort. We were using automation tools to be able to rapidly and quickly build things like, okay, like for example, you want to figure out the technical load on your systems. Like can we really put 10 million trees out into the world? Okay, well we're not going to build 10 million trees, so some of them are real, so you're proving out your art pipeline, and some of them were just a um, gray box with a yellow and ugly green texture on it, but it was built to the same poly count and same depth of texture, everything. So from a technical load point of view, the world was complete. So we would know where we had to optimize. But it was so obviously ugly, you didn't mistake it for something. So that was what I would call intelligent automation, which is the precursor to what AI. You just give it a couple prompts, and you give it the tool chain to do it. It'll just go do that for you. Um, and I think as teams embrace that, both indie and AAA, they'll use their resources better and not ramp up big teams, finish all at once, and then have to lay people off because it's mismanagement.
Mm,
Huge
mm.
layoffs. I think it's a failure on people like myself. Like it's the um, production leadership, it is the business leadership. When you get to the end and you don't have something to roll people onto, that's not a failure on the team. That's a failure on people like myself. And
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it happens. It happens for
it
sure.
does, it does, but it can be avoided.
Yeah.
11 years at Rockstar, San Diego Studios had one layoff, and it was really early on, soon after the transition from Angel to Rockstar, and we were over leveraged because of some projects that we still had outstanding with non-Rockstar projects, and it was like 15 people out of 200, and that hurt
Yeah.
because I knew each and every one of those people. But one time only in 11 years, and that was still my failure. But I don't buy into why the cost to go find this talent after you let them go.
Eh,
These companies are learning the hard way. They're shooting themselves in the foot, thinking AI is going to do what these people do.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
Yeah. You need the people that have the knowledge first and then that know how to use the tools and yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely.
So
So
anyway, that's the soapbox issue for
yes,
me. I'm
I
sorry.
I know, no, I love this. I love this lore. I need this lore. I live for it.